Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule the Galaxy fans, it is Joe back in the pilot seat. We've been having such banger lit episodes with all of our guests that we said, you know what, it's time to go back to basics. It's time to spend some quality time just with friends, family, talk a little Star Wars, just short little fireside chats together. So today in this episode, it's me in the pilot seat, but my right hand man, my co pilot today is my little brother, Tony Molinaro. Tony, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Joe. Good to be here, man.
Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. As always, everybody, as Tony and I start going, you can always follow us on Twitter, Rule the Galaxy SW. Email me, rulethegalaxysw at gmail.com if you want to talk good or bad about Tony's performance here today. And just on YouTube and Facebook, just Rule the Galaxy. So, Tony, if you see, I've changed my studio. I was in one office. My daughter and I switched offices, and so now I put a whole new shelf and photos behind me. What do you think for the YouTube
Yeah,
followers? You can check it out. So,
I love it. Yeah, if you guys are seeing this, you still have some of the classics though. You've got the AT-AT, you got the Rule the Galaxy logo back there, so
yep.
keeping those consistent. I think it looks good, man. So
I
maybe we'll get a walkthrough one day. I don't know if you've done those yet, but you should do like a quick little tour.
I did because I've got this side almost done. I did a quick
Mm.
5 minute video that I'm going to post on YouTube. For those listening, I'm pointing behind me when I say this side.
That's
But
true.
the stuff behind me is done for the most part. So I just did a 5 minute video earlier today that I'll post out on YouTube. When I finish the wall opposite of me, I'll do one of that as well. But one of the things I'm most proud of, and you can't see everything on here because it's just limited space and everything, but right here, this is the AT-AT that you created. When did you create that again? I forget.
That was in college, so like 2011. In my one of my creative seasons, I drew an AT-AT on a canvas, and then got some paint, and that's what came of it. So it's white and black with the green background. I think I saw someone do it. It looked like a cow to me, and I thought it was funny. So
Okay.
anyway, so
No,
for those, yeah.
it is great. And over my left shoulder, for anybody who's viewing this, you'll be able to see that it's very hard because it's further away. But that is my
I see
R2D2
it.
that I drew when I was in college. So I took my R2D2 cookie jar, which we'll talk about later, and I just set it in front of me and I just drew it. So that was fun. But I love to see that we have the artistic things going on in here. And then up in my right hand corner, to me, left hand corner, probably if you're viewing, is my 1978 wallpaper that mom saved a roll of that I cut and put into a frame. Star Wars wallpaper. Yeah, in a picture frame. So, how's everything going with you? How's family's doing well? I'm hoping your son Wes is how old now?
He's 4 years old. Yeah, we're all doing well. We've got Christmas decorations up. We've got Christmas presents getting wrapped, and yeah, we're all good. And that's you can see. I don't want to exclude any of the listeners, but I'm going to be very descriptive today because this is a visual episode for me. We've got
Okay.
a Christmas tree in the background, and I wanted to share with you, Joe, and with all of our listeners, my three favorite Star Wars memorabilia things from my life. So
That
these
is
are
perfect.
some old items. I'm going to go through them and kind of talk about them again, listeners. I'll try to be descriptive. But first off and foremost, it's the Christmas season. So I have to go with my favorite Christmas vinyl album. You've got the CD. I think this is probably your record, honestly. I just probably stole it one
It's
day when I was like
okay.
10. Anyway, it's in the family. We'll keep it in
Yes,
the family. How about that?
that sounds
So if
great.
anyone else likes this, if anyone hasn't heard this, I listen to this every year. It's C3PO and R2D2 just killing it on the tracks with some classic Christmas music. This is
Christmas in
like
the
my
stars.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas in the Stars. Bells, bells, bells. The next item I have, being very
Oh,
descriptive, this little guy in my hand, I'm holding a Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi
yes.
that I believe I found in a cereal box,
I think you probably
probably
did.
when I was like 7. I don't know what cereal it was, but this is a prized possession, guys. This is a cool dude. Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's very
I don't
cool.
know. Do you have this guy?
I don't know. I have so much stuff, Tony. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. You got too much. You
I've
got
got to
too
go through
much.
my warehouse agenda and check the. Yeah,
Then third on my
nice.
list, this R2, this is a bank. This is a C3PO and R2D2 piggy bank. The batteries are gone or it just doesn't work, but you would press a button and R2D2 would push a coin into the slot, and C3PO would give his little spiel. But they've discolored over the years. I still love it. I'm going to keep it as long as I can and hopefully fix it so that my son Wes, who's 4, can put some coins in there.
Those were absolutely awesome. And if you can see, Tony, I know you can see behind me, right back there is my R2D2. There we go. R2D2 and C3PO alarm clock from the late 70s.
I can see that. Yeah.
So you've got the bank. I've got the alarm clock of those two standing together right there. So that's awesome. Those are great items. I mean, to think, okay, I can see where Christmas in the Stars would be in there because it brings back great memories. And it was things, you know, even our sisters who are not into Star Wars at all, we'll talk about how they like to listen to that album. I can see that. And I can see the bank because, you know, I mean, 1, it can be useful, but 2, it's a great piece of memorabilia. I'm really kind of blown away by the Obi-Wan, Ghost Obi-Wan. And I think you're right. I think it was in like a little plastic bag in a cereal box. And it was during the time when the new characters coming out in the 90s. Yeah.
1997.
There you go.
1997. So I mean, even if it's not true, I believe it's rare. So it's just I don't know. That's just what I think. So
what I found though, Tony, and looking at that right there is that means something to you. So, you know, people will say, well, gold's worth this much or diamonds are worth that much. But in all reality, they're only worth what you feel like they're worth. So that Obi-Wan Kenobi Ghost right there, which I'll go look through my bucket of stuff and see.
You probably have 5.
No, I probably don't. That's probably one where I'm like, I don't have that, but it's okay because it, you know, I mean, it means something different to everybody. So, you know, everything has a value to you, what it's worth, what you'll sell it for, what you'll buy it for. And so if it means something to you, I'm happy. I mean, you know, that means Star Wars has connected with you in somehow, some way. And that's pretty cool. But those are 3 very cool, unique items. And I didn't mean to try to match you, but I love the you know, I had the CD, you had the album, I have the clock, you have the bank.
We didn't even plan that. That's great.
We did not. So you know what? I'm going to do what you did. I brought 3 as well. The simple one, the easy one was when I was a kid, and this is, oops, sorry, there we go. This is the 1978, you know, just simple, basic Stormtrooper, right? And there was just something about the Stormtrooper, how clean it was, how menacing it was when they walked through that first part of the ship in the beginning of New Hope, and they're just shooting people down and they're coming through there and you don't know what's going on. Just having those characters, I remember as a little kid wanting like just an army of them, right? And now you could go buy, I mean, you can go buy beat up, I call these beaters, you know, they're not in the package, they got markings on them, but you know, you can go buy beaters for like $4 of these now, which is a lot more than what they were in 1978, but still you can create kind of like your own mini army. But there was just something about the Stormtrooper, how it just looked, and I love it. I love that they then went and made the clones, you know, have some different structures of the clone of the Stormtroopers. My next one, and this one is another Obi-Wan. It's a different Obi-Wan. This is an Obi-Wan in clone gear that was a black series. Obi-Wan in the clone trooper gear. I never bought the 6-inch black series. Like, they've been coming out for quite a while. And before COVID hit, before the pandemic, before we were sitting at home with time galore on our hands and the computers in front of us, I was like, I'm just not going to get into the 6-inch black series, right? I love the 3 3/4. They're easy to play with. Kids can play with them. But you know how much I like Obi-Wan, and when I saw this one, because you never see him in a movie in this, but in some of the Clone Wars cartoons, he had some gear like this. But it stood out to me. Well, I missed it. They were an exclusive of Walgreens that you could get for like $10, $15, right? I ended up paying quite a bit more for this one because I was after the fact. And I even went to, I even called Walgreens and went to their 800 number and went to their database and their call center and had them look up the SKU number on the bottom of it, because I was like, there's got to be one in some warehouse somewhere, because I heard the story. These were selling for like $6 each at Ollie's, because all of them went to the distribution center like in Utah. So there were thousands of them in Utah at the CVS or the Walgreens distribution center, but they never got to the other parts because it was like, oh, Star Wars guy, yeah, boom, just send them all to that distribution center. Well, when they were overloaded on them and they didn't know what to do with them, they said, well, we'll just sell them off to Ollie's because we got so many of them. And Ollie's bought them for probably nothing. And then we're selling them for like $6 in Ollie's. And I paid a lot more than that for that. But I've since opened that, believe it or not. I'm such an Obi-Wan guy. I've opened it. I'm actually going to put it right over here on this shelf because I've got the other ones in boxes. But the last one is, this is like the prize possession. And people say, it's a freaking cookie jar, but it's an R2D2 1977 cookie jar. And at the time when the movies came out originally, just like there was no Baby Yoda when Mandalorian first came out, because they were keeping it such secret, there were no toys. As you've heard us talk about 1977, the movie came out, you couldn't get toys until 1978. So they said, what are all the things we can make that aren't toys?
That's so funny.
And so they made, they took regular battle games and just put a Star Wars sticker on it, and made guns and put a Star Wars sticker on it. But, they could make things like a cookie jar because it's just fire up the kiln, boom, go. But the reason I like this the most, and it's my prized possession, is when George Lucas has done a number of interviews in his office, he has one of these sitting on a shelf behind him. And he always said it was one of his favorite things. So to think that I've got one of those things that George Lucas has in his office, it makes me feel pretty cool. So, but I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you got that stuff. And sorry for me rambling on all my stuff there, because it's
no, these things stay in the chest. I've got a black chest with that's contained for me. That's where my Star Wars stuff goes. But I've got a few that I haven't opened. Oh my gosh, the micro machines! I love those too, and I've got those still in cases. I haven't opened those.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh! Don't go on eBay or Mercari because you'll want to sell them, because people will give you money.
They'll stay with me. Well, Wes, my 4-year-old, he keeps, Dad, can we get in your chest? Dad, can we get in that box? I'm like, buddy, they're not really to play with. And and I don't want to be that nerd, but it's like, honestly, I only have 2 of them. Like, I don't want him to open them. So
you're turning into the Lego movie. You're turning into the Lego movie.
And he's not going to play with this. And anyway, so he's got other toys coming. So
yeah, so you have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Janie's 1.
Janie's 1.
So you've got all this in front of you. I mean, I look forward to seeing what Wes is like when he opens a gift someday and it's an action figure or something like that. I want to see, because I know like Iron Man and stuff. I gave him some Iron Man and Spider-Man stuff, I think, and he liked to run around on those. But he hasn't been indoctrinated yet with Star Wars, right?
I'd be interested. And you had Joey, and I'm curious. At what age do kids tend to start to get into that? Because Wes is into Paw Patrol. He's into kind of more cartoony, like little kid stuff, which is fine. He should. But I don't know when that switch is, when they get kind of more into the lightsabers.
I will tell you, you're a much probably more refined.
I just always had him, so
father than I am. But I threw Joey right in the fire. I was like, oh, you can walk? Here, put this gun in your hand. Oh, yeah.
Well, he does like guns, just not blasters. So we'll get him there soon enough. But
I would say this. If you want to go with something, this is just my 2 cents worth here, but if you want to go with 2 shows that I think he would really have fun with, well, one, obviously on Disney Plus, you could have him watch the Ewoks or Droids, but they're not that. Let's face it, they're not that good. I mean, it's nostalgia. The Ewoks cartoons and the Droids cartoons, as much as I enjoy them, people today, Brent Dykman was like, how do you watch that? That's crap. I can't. And it's only because I watched it when I was young, right? But of the new shows, I would say the Star Wars Resistance show that didn't really take off and do that well. But I think it's because it was a bunch of nerd guys like me going, this is kind of a kid show. It's very fun, slapstick comedy. There's droids in it. There's ships. It's not too scary. It's not blood and gory. I think he would like Star Wars Resistance because it's fun and the
Yeah.
guy the character's always messing things up and goofy and all that kind of stuff. So I think he would like that. And then maybe a year or two after he tests that out, I would go definitely to Star Wars Rebels because the Star Wars Rebels again, the first season or two are very cartoonish, but by season
Hmm.
3 and 4 they get a little bit more ramped up like real Star Wars. But
Sure.
kind of it kind of merges over to where the kid's like, oh, I like these characters. Whoa, that's going on. I mean, again, they're not bloody or gory or anything like that. They're animated, um, but they're both fun. I think they'd be good for like a 4, 5, 6 year old kid. So
Yeah. In the past, I've tried, and those I've watched those, at least the first couple episodes. And whenever there's like too much talking, Wes just goes, "This is boring. This is a grown up show. It has to have a fight every 10 seconds for him to be
okay,
interested or something."
yeah, good.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's
so
interesting. Okay, you got a fighter on your hands. That's good. It'll be tough. He'll take care of himself. Looking back, I mean, obviously, I'm your older brother. I'm 18 years older than you, so we have quite a gap in age between us. But I kind of said, hey, I'm going to make sure my little brother likes Star Wars like I do, and
mhm.
so and things like that. Are there things, whether it's Christmas related or whether it's just kid stuff that certain memories that stick out? Obviously, Christmas in the Stars sticks out to you, but are there other
Yeah.
things that stand out to you that you can think of and go, man, that just means and feels like family and Christmas and Star Wars and things like that to me?
Yeah, definitely. The two things that just the celebration that I went to with you when I was probably like 10 or 11,
Yeah,
just that experience. I only went one day, but just to be in that environment with all the Star Wars fans, that was awesome. And then I don't know how many times, but every time I went over to Uncle Matt's house, and you now have everything displayed for
right.
everyone, but back then only he had all of his memorabilia. So our uncle Matt had a great collection. I don't know if he still does, but he would just kind of show me and my cousin John little figures, and sometimes he'd give some of. I still remember. I don't know if he has a squid on his head. His head is like a squid,
Yeah.
and I don't know what his name is, but I remember going up to like an attic and him him giving that to me, and I was like, oh my gosh. So there was it's just it's a magical world that Star Wars is in, and just toys at that age were always special, and it was always related to you or Matt. So
Well, they
um,
that character that you're talking about when we were little, we
yeah.
just called him Squidhead. That's all we called him.
Well, there you go, Squidhead. Yeah.
But I think it's a Quarren. I want to make sure Quarren, and they are in season 2. Well, season 1 and season 2 of Mandalorian. They've done a really good job of putting some of them in season 1 and season 2. I think the guy who he cuts in
Trying to think
half,
back.
the guy he cuts in half in the first episode of
Yeah.
Mandalorian was a squid head. Remember the guy
Hmm.
going out the door and the door closed like in a circular way?
Yes. Yes.
I think
I
that
I
was
forget
one.
what his. Yeah.
So I don't know. But then he went to the water world in season 2 and met Bo-Katan, and there was definitely a there was definitely Quarren there, squid heads there.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So
We're gonna have Uncle Matt
speak,
on soon, by the way. He's gonna come on.
nice.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So speaking of Christmas, everyone was buying gifts. Was there a Christmas that you got? Was there a specific Christmas that you got a bunch of Star Wars stuff, or one Star Wars item that stands out to you?
Yeah, I think it was definitely in the after New Hope before Empire Strikes Back kind of realm when I was 7 or 8 years old, because Empire came out when I was 9. But I saw Star Wars as 6. I went, so in '78 I was 7. I think that was the Christmas that Mom and Dad really went all out, and we had the Death Star. We got for Christmas we got TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Millennium Falcon, and Death Star. We had
Oh
all of that.
man.
So I spent I don't know how long just sitting there in my pajamas all day, just taking those, putting together, putting the stickers all over them. I still remember, and I was in Superman pajamas. They had bought me Superman pajamas because I think right around that time, yeah, '78, Superman the movie had come out with Christopher Reeves, and so that stands out. And I still have the pictures of that. And I can look at those pictures and feel and know the feeling of that day. And it was 42 years
Sure.
ago. Um, so yeah, I mean, Christmas, Joey and I were talking about it just recently. Christmas and Star Wars meant something when I was a kid, and then when Joey was a kid, because all the movies were coming out at that time. And so Christmas, I mean, not at Christmas time, but during those years, you would at Christmas you would get Star Wars figures,
Mhm.
and so that always meant that. And then growing up around Katie, Elizabeth, Maggie, and you and Nick, having Christmas in the Stars playing made it feel like, wow, this is kind of mainstream, but it's Christmas, but it's Star Wars. Um, so that's been great. But honestly, the recent memories of us doing the Christmas time, going to the theater, watching the movies, has
Mhm.
been some of my favorite things to do. There's something about it, and Joey talked about it. We've all kind of either said work, what do I worry about work? It's Christmas time, and we've got time to go do this, and then you sit and you talk as you prepare for it. You talk afterwards. Gosh, the Force Awakens, didn't you and Joey sit for like an hour after the Force Awakens and just talk?
Oh, sure. Yep. Yeah. We went back to your house. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yep.
those kind of memories,
Yeah.
that's just good stuff. And I think the more I get into Star Wars, if it's possible, the more I see, that it is really related to family. I mean, everybody in the family, oh, that's Joe's a Star Wars guy. Make sure we talk about Star Wars stuff around anymore. I try to relate Star Wars stuff to real world, kind of things and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's been
Yeah.
great. And to have the things where, again, I almost sometimes feel like your uncle. We joke about it because I'm 18 years older than you, but to have my little brother have be a fan of Star Wars, and then have my son be a fan of Star Wars, it's just a really great time and memory to look back on. So
If, in our family, I'm trying to think like what girl would be the biggest fan in our family because we do have. I mean, it is a father son thing, a bond, and we
hmm
have the girls in our family don't dislike it, but I'm maybe Jane. Maybe I'll make Jane a little Padawan. Maybe she'll
just like the
she'll
Iron
be a little
Maiden
Ray.
in Spider-Man, I've got 12-inch female characters of Ray and
Yeah.
Leia and all those that I'd be more than happy to pull those out and
Yeah.
let her check those out and see what she thinks. Yeah, I did. I stockpiled those in case I have granddaughters someday. I wanted to be fair, want to have those toys available. But that would be cool because
Granddaughters.
um my girls, Lori puts up with it. She likes to go to the movies. She likes the shows.
Yeah.
Maddie loved Hayden Christensen. She was of a good
Yes.
age to watch
So does
the
Lindsay.
prequels.
Yes.
Yeah. Emily has never been a true, Emily loves Billy Lord, who is Carrie Fisher's daughter. And she's in all the American Horror
Yes.
Story shows. But I told her,
Okay.
it's like, you need to go watch the sequels because Billy Lord
She's in there. Yeah.
is in the sequels. But I think my cousin, our cousin Elizabeth, was the biggest of the fans because she's the one.
That's true.
She and cousin Chris took me to go see it when I was 6 years old, and
Hmm.
then so that was always a cool thing for her. But then she married a guy who's a scientist who's kind of nerdy like me, and he's always been into Star Wars as well. But I can't think of many female Star Wars fans in the family. So if you want to get Janie in,
I'll
I,
try
I
it. Yeah.
I'll help. I'll help any way I can. So, are you looking forward to? You've watched all the other things on Disney Plus. Are you looking forward to Book of Boba Fett coming out later this month?
I am. I don't know if we got a chance to talk about visions much.
We
I
didn't.
talked about that with some guys at work, and so yeah, I mean definitely Book of Boba. Yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to that. But Visions was cool. Just a little recap for me. I liked some of them. Some of them they were
Yeah,
just okay. But I think it's awesome that they exist, and I think it's
yeah.
cool that Disney allowed some free agents, I guess, to like give their spin. So yeah, I was impressed. I mean, it's cool animation and
It was.
cool new stories. So yeah, I really dug it. What about you?
Did you watch much anime before that at all?
No, I mean, unless you include like Pokemon, but I mean,
Okay.
so maybe I mean it's not. not adult anime. I mean, maybe like children anime.
Okay. Yeah, I've
So
never really, Speed Racer, Voltron,
mm,
those kind of things were the anime that I kind of knew of, and
yeah,
but I never really got into them. So yeah, I was willing to take a chance, and like you said, I would think probably 6 or 7 of the 9 I'd watch again and say, okay, these were
yeah,
pretty cool, or I want to see where that went.
yeah.
A couple of them where I was like, these don't click with me.
Agreed.
But that's okay because each one's different. I've talked to some people where the ones where I didn't really click with, they were like, oh no, I kind of like that one. It's like, see, that's why it's good. That's I don't
Yeah,
I don't ask you to collect all the toys. If you like the soundtracks, everything, great, go like that. I mean,
yeah.
it's
The
good.
one guy from work was like, "Did you see the bunny one, the bunny girl?" And he like didn't like. I was like, "Oh, I enjoyed that
Yeah,
one."
I was
So
I was
I
all
like.
for it.
It was a cool,
Yeah.
familial struggle. So,
Lop and
but
Ocho.
shed a
Lop and
bunny.
Ocho was the name of that one. And I said I want a character of that bunny because I've got Jackson, the rabbit.
Yeah.
And I want to take I was like, oh, I can have Jackson and that character. I don't remember if she was Lop or Ocho, so I apologize. But um so yeah, so again, Joey was talking about it. The great thing about this Book of Boba Fett is it comes out the week in between Christmas and New Year's. So that week where you're like, what's gonna, we just finished Christmas, New Year's is it's an okay, I'm not 21 and hitting it with the bars, you know. So this is gonna be good to come out of that time frame, I think. I'm looking forward to it.
Once a week? Do we know? Is it going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
once a
once a
week?
week.
Okay, that's what we're
Seven
doing.
seven
Okay,
episodes, once a week.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind
Yeah,
of pumped about
that'll
it.
be
You've watched
cool.
the trailers for it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They look great.
I was surprised that Jennifer Beals is going to be in it. She's playing one of the Twi'leks, one of the ones with the head
Remind me who that is. I don't know if I
flash
even
dance.
noticed. Uh,
She was
I don't know
in,
who
oh
that is.
gosh, she's in other shows. I don't know her. I know her from Flashdance, but she's in other shows. Look up Jennifer Beals.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
patented move on the dance floor at wedding receptions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's her.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's for everyone who wants to know. Tony does that move with the water in the chair on the dance
Not my
floor.
move, but I do the move. So
Yes. He's got it down pat.
the flash dance
Um,
move.
well, good. So Christmas is coming. Anything you're looking forward to at Christmas? Anything you're wanting or needing for Christmas? Doesn't have to be
Oh
Star Wars.
gosh. No, no. I mean, it'll be just fun. I got Wes is at a good age for gifts, so he'll be fun
Great
to
age.
watch. Open up gifts. We're gonna get together as a family. Just
Yep.
the normal stuff, I guess. Oh, we're doing Great Wolf Lodge for New
Really?
Year's Eve.
Good for
So me
you.
and Lindsay are, yeah, we're really, it's for the kids. It's gonna be an experience. We've heard
Good.
mixed reviews, but that's what we're doing. So what's
Good.
coming up
Good.
for you guys? Anything?
No, just busy time. I mean, obviously Christmas and families and everything, and all of our families being around each other makes it really busy. No, the only thing I really asked for this year, I've got my cool yellow Vans that I love and everybody else hates.
Mhm.
I asked for a pair of black ones, so now people won't be able to say you're wearing yellow Vans. I'll wear those when I want, and then I'll wear the black ones at other times, so I don't make people stare at my yellow Vans. So hopefully somebody
You,
in the family gets that for me. So.
you do you.
Yeah, that's why I try to be me. That's why we do the podcast. So, well, good. Well, do me a favor. Let's don't be a stranger. You're always welcome back whenever you want. And if you watch some of the Book of Boba Fett, or if you and Wes over Christmas break get a chance to watch say something Star Wars, give me the feedback on it. But you're more than welcome. We'll probably do a weekly show. Well, we'll do the weekly show, but we'll do recaps and thoughts on Book of Boba Fett as they come out. So just looking forward to being around you for the holidays, man. Thanks for coming and
Yeah,
being a
man.
part of the show.
Hey, dude. Thanks for this time. It's fun.
No worries. And you know what? For those of you not on YouTube, you need to go check us out on YouTube because Tony showed some cool stuff. For those of you not on YouTube and you just want to listen, he did a great job describing his collectibles that that he loves.
Script.
Look, hey, thanks for coming back and being with us. And then fans, thanks for listening. As always, you know what? Just check us out. Rule the Galaxy pretty much everywhere. Rule the Galaxy SW on Twitter. And until the next show, which I'll find out which host is going to be the next one. May the force be with you.